What's going on, guys? Pegasus from the Wiseguys. Happy New Year to you. Come in, close the door, have a seat. Good to see you. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Been wanting to do some Drytron content. We're going to break it down into a couple of different videos because I have something kind of goofy I've been messing around with. Tron stuff actually isn't that bad, but without further ado, we're going to get into this pure version. That's been giving me a lot of success. Had a few locals. Basically like an online tournament. I don't remember. I just remember I won an online tournament like 3 weeks ago, and it was 17 people. So it's just, I like doing Drytron content. Why not drop it? Pimp named Slickback. Obviously, you guys know my favorite winning strategy in this deck, and I haven't been necessarily playing it lately, just because MANNADIUM just puts a bullseye on Drytron's back that it can't really overcome. So I've been playing a lot of birds and a lot of Infernoid Snake Eye stuff, but Drytron is still pretty decent. You just got to kind of prepare. And this is a little bit of a strange build, but you'll kind of understand where I'm coming from. But a pimp named Slickback. Shout out to Naomi. Artifact Lancia. Still really self-explanatory. I'm not playing orange lights in this build, which is very, very awkward, but it's just orange light is way too slow for the amount of hand traps you're going to get beat over the head with. So it's like orange light just isn't quite worth it. It'll feel like it's worth it in moments, but then, if they open up 2 hand traps and we're in a hand trap heavy front, you're just going to get screwed the more and more that you go through. And while you can play stuff like Thrust into Featherstorm, it's just not the best strategy right now. One Diviner, obviously, you can play, most of the time you want to play Choju these days, simply because sometimes your extra deck is needed more, and you need the slots where the Intis and the Arclight are, which is kind of weird, but Diviner is so good. And then I am so glad I have these, because that new ritual deck, the Silent Fork archetype coming out, that's just going to be a lot of fun to play, so I'll have these on deck. Shout out to Diviner. But I definitely feel like Choju is actually the choice right now in a lot of decks, and you'll see that in the upcoming Drytron follow-up video to this one. Triple Ben 10. I have all of the artworks. I have Lost Stars. I have literally every single art, but I just love this one so much. The Lost Art is just supreme, but I do love the QCR ones, and it just goes without saying how good Ben 10 is, and shout out to her still being a 3. I hope they always forget about it. To round those out with the Cyber Angels, you obviously have to play Natasha. Natasha obviously snatch steals everything, so we know how that rolls. Building your boards, breaking their boards, snatching, Boral Sword, attack for game, see you later. That's just, you guys know how that rolls. The last of the 2 rituals, in this build I'm not playing Perfection. It's because I just wanted to get straight to Ruler. Amor Factor is also one of my favorite choices, but for right now, too many hand traps, and Amor Factor dies to hand traps, so it's pointless to me. My setup is basically, in this version, going for the Chaos Max, and then just ending on like Fucho Ruler most of the time. Like Fucho Ruler is pretty much the game plan still. I wouldn't really change a whole lot. And then, through natural playing, you're gonna get to this point most of the time. If you open up Alpha and the Benton, you're gonna get to this card, essentially going first every single time. You want to try to set up a Vanity's Ruler to fight through a nib. Obviously it's going to be a little bit strange in these times with everybody playing cards like Imperm and stuff. You just don't know. I know people are playing hand traps. I don't know if they're playing Imperm. So long story short, you just go for this to put the pressure on them, and then if they have something for the Ruler, what does it matter? You don't have monster effects, you know what I mean? But that's opening up a lot of names, which this version does. And then the big homie, you know how it goes. He attacks everybody if you use the names outside of using the Fafnir. And obviously is a blow up on their turn that doesn't target, which is very, very key. In today's game it still matters. As far as the Drytron names, getting into those, we're gonna start pouring it on. Triple Alpha searches the rituals. Zeta searches the ritual spells. Again, in this version, I'm only playing the 1 ritual spell. The Meteon is Drytron, so you know how that goes. Triple Delta, this is where mine is different. I just still want to have names, and although I usually cut this down to 2, in this one I've just wanted to keep grabbing names, because the absence of like the other level 1, the beta, it makes me feel like I have to play this card. But with Bystials, I want to make one of these, the beta, to be able to play around, get your stuff banished by Bystials and shifters and all kind of stuff like that. But for me, I'm playing Ursatron Alpha, and I obviously will be showing another combo version, probably on the same. I'm gonna drop both of these on New Year's. So shout out to you, you're getting all kind of Drytron content. But this one is less important in this version, but I still want to be able to grab Drytron Nova more often. And it's like, it's another name, you know. Obviously, you have to special this from hand, and it's not quite a full Drytron, but it's still a pretty decent effect to be able, in case you guys have never actually seen it. It says you can add one Ursarctic or Drytron spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Drytron Nova. So in a basic way, Drytron Nova in this version. I like it. It's like another copy of Drytron Nova, and I just love playing Drytron, and I just love having consistency, so that's why I've been playing it like that. I still go back and forth between triple Nova or double Nova and 2 Fafnir, or triple Nova and 1 Fafnir. Right now I'm playing this, and the number is obvious, guys. Drytron Fafnir right here. Obviously in the Ursatron version, I recommend playing 2 because you always want to be able to resolve that combo. And again, you'll see in the content that is dropping also today. Be patient with me. But obviously, guys, being able to E-Telly out the Drytrons, y'all know how that rolls. And the field spell just being the ignorant card itself. Can't say enough about it. The level thing still does come up, not necessarily the same way because there's not as many decks with level stuff, but I screw over MANNADIUM every now and again. It still does come up, and it's something that people forget about. In case you forgot, you know, obviously the level thing, you know, just in case you don't remember. Triple Cyber Emergency, again, grabbing the Drytron names, and now with there being additional names, you still want to grab even more cards, and yes, this can grab the level 7 as well. There's nothing that says that it can't. Interesting. Light Machine, it can't be normal summoned. We're set. Triple Droplet. This is the choice card right now. Blowing people out and having blank cards. The Drytrons are all blank, doesn't matter where they are. If they're in the grave, if they're in your hand, it doesn't matter. So Droplet is the perfect card to play right now, and it's pretty much my hand traps, essentially. Now, obviously, you die a horrible death to stuff like Shifter, even harder than you would. But hopefully you still have 2 names. You can maybe get to Fucho and just pray from there. But hopefully you have the Called by the Grave to go along with, you know, the Droll that they're gonna obviously drop on you because it's just a pain in the ass to deal with. But if you can Called by a Grave the Droll, it really, really is key. Shout out to Foolish Burial. It's just another name of any of the names you just saw. Talents. Still feel like if you do get Droll, you're gonna deal with hand traps. I promise you, you're gonna deal with hand traps, which is why I choiced this card the way that I did. I'd like to actually main more, but for right now, I like how smooth it is, and I like having some kind of interruption for my opponent, because just freely letting people play is just way too good. And even the minimal package that I have with the cards, it's doing enough for me. And obviously the Ritual spell, shout out to the collectors, rare man. Y'all know I love my Drytrons. Y'all know I love this card. Coolest artwork in the game for my money. So shout out to that. Again, guys, pardon me. For some reason, there's just no cross-outs in Kansas City right now, so I had to do this. And somebody has my playset anyway. I forgot, one of my teammates. Shout out to the Wiseguys. But cross-out, the actual cross-out, ignore this cross-out. Do not play this cross-out unless you're playing a bunch of sub-tier players. Then that would be hilarious. But for me, the actual cross-out, the current modern cross-out, I've been actually playing one of each of the hand traps that I want to cross out anyway. And then if I open these, cool. But I don't want any more than this because Drytron can't afford to have like bricks in their hand. And although you do need to stop your opponent, you don't want to draw these cards like that, but you still want to see them, you know what I mean? So it's kind of a weird thing. It's just something I'm trying with cross-out and being able to destroy the cards that you need to destroy to be able to play. It just really, really is key for me to play these right now. And it's been working very, very well. And I'm not even that big of a fan of cross-out, but it has been working very, very well. And if you draw a cross-out with the talents, well, the game is over. Let's just call it what it is. As far as the side deck, this is just how I'm playing it. I've moved away from Cyclone the same way. I haven't seen Anti-Spell the same way, but I have seen a lot of back row decks rise up, and then it's obviously going to change again when the list changes, and the list has changed because it's the first. Double Danko. I am so tired of like that Labyrinth deck and all the back row decks that just set. Even with the floodgates getting limited, I just don't want to deal with back row like that, and Danko still stuns people the way that she always has, so I can't say enough about that. As far as other back row removal, double Lightning Storm. I like drawing Lightning Storm because you can like Lightning Storm them. It's like you can Zeus them and then you like Zeus them again. So you like droplet them, you like Lightning Storm, chain droplet, blank a bunch of stuff, Zeus them again. So it's like they cannot win, and even if they could win or if they leave a lot of monsters on the board, you Natasha them for game, and then it doesn't matter anyway. So it's like, I really like how much presence this provides, and Lightning Storm is just a good card. Can't say enough about it. Triple evenly. Now clearly, pardon me, I'm just dropping cards all over the place. Triple evenly. Still, there's a lot of decks that just do not answer it and don't put up the negate to answer it. So it still is really, really good. And there's a lot of decks that have tokens on the field. And if they don't have a negate and they have a token on the field, the game is over. So I feel like you still want to play evenly. And again, I just don't like those back row decks like that. Again, I'm not playing Thrust, which is very, very strange for me. I don't know. It's in my striker list right now anyway. My striker list isn't on me. But I'm playing another talents. I think this should be Thrust. But it's like, I don't want to draw it's like a connector to a connector card. And in Drytron, again, you can't afford that. Especially when you have a target on your back because you're playing a deck that loses to what the best deck or one of the best combo decks loses to anyway. So it's like, I just want to draw the actual card, and Talents is that card. So that's where I'm kind of like, I didn't even worry about getting Thrust like that, and it hasn't really mattered, which is very strange. Harpy's Feather Duster is Harpy's Feather Duster again for the back row decks. For the combo decks, you just lava golem them. You take out the ruler and the diviner pretty much, and you don't normal. You just lava golem them and then Zeus them or Lightning Storm or whatever you're gonna do anyway. So that remains to be seen. Also, you can Natasha take this back and kill people with it. Put it in attack mode, trust me. Double Droll, and then for going first, I'm playing Barrier. I've also been messing around with like the Feather Storm because I ain't on Fucho a lot, so I'm like, if they hand trap anything, you just that's the Logan JYA thing. We all kind of shared that behind the doors, but you know, I feel like everybody knows that by now. Thrust, set, Feather Storm, pass. When you have a Fucho on the field. And most of the time my inboard, again, I've said it twice, but I just wanted to show what I'm talking about. Most of the time my inboard, as we get into my extra deck, essentially is this and this. And this has been my game plan, my favorite game plan in Yu-Gi-Oh! For a while. Just because this is an enormous pain in the ass. Like, you imperm this, okay, can you kill me through this? That means you have to have more cards specific in your hand. If you do imperm this and then you have like a lava going, and then can you kill me after that? And is this all that I have? Did I draw Lancey? Like, that's what I mean. Like, if you have this and a Lancey in your hand, that's a pain in the ass for any deck that exists in the game to deal with when you go first. Now, obviously, this is just my 2 cents. Best card in the game, low key. And this is gonna start off with the Exceeds. Fucho, just so they can't do anything, and you kill them on the clap back, obviously. Birds are chirping. Shout out to my birds. Y'all know it's a flu profile coming. Don't worry about it. Double Fafnir, without question. I've used to play 3, and in some decks where there's a heavy combo, like the Ida 10 loop build, I play 3. This version I play 2. Downer Magician, just because we want a bigger Zeus. Beatrice to unbrick you, and then obviously Beatrice is just so good that one day she'll get hit and we'll be sad, but Beatrice is just so good. Shout out to Burning Abyss. Zeus, for obvious reasons, because this is just the best Zeus deck, low-key. The Diviner targets. This is a little bit different. I'm playing both of these. I've been messing around with like taking one of these out. Most of the time, I just love having Anima to break people's boards, so I just deal with not having a Linkuriboh, but that's just, you gotta have Linkuriboh. IP Masquerena, Nightmare Phoenix, Boral Sword, still my go-to choice, Appaloosa, and Underworld Goddess. Very, very powerful card. Guys, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Happy New Year to you. Much love to you. ignore negativity this year, and have a blessed and safe new year. God bless. Pegasus out. Chame!